When you get hurt in a car wreck, don't count on 3 magic wishes. Just call all nines. George St. Injury Lawyers has the experience to help you get your money faster. Call us nights, weekends, 24/7. It's all nines.
From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
11 people escaping from the fire you see on your screen. Just look at all those flames. Ahead, we're hearing from that family on what their next steps are after losing everything.
But first, we're expecting another night of dangerously cold weather for us.
Yeah, make sure you bring your pets in tonight and every night this week.
Yeah.
Post Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale is here now. And Riley, what do we need to know going into tonight?
Hey, you need to know it's going to be very cold, most likely down into the mid-20s away from the city, so not quite as cold as this morning, but still cold nonetheless. Definitely protect your pets. I'm sure not many of us have those sensitive outdoor plants still out since it is December, but we are just looking at another cold night. And actually, afternoon temperatures are hitting the 40s. We did briefly hit 50 about an hour ago, so another pretty chilly afternoon for most spots across the region. Quick look at Charlotte, Dahlonega, Georgia, up in North Georgia, Augusta here, Aiken. You can see there are a few clouds for us here around the CS area, just very high, thin clouds. Those will continue to push through for tonight. Impressive cold this morning. Saluda was the coldest low, got down to 19 degrees. Graniteville, SRS not too far behind at 21 and 20. North Augusta even got down to 22 degrees, so frigid cold out there. And actually what's impressive, Daniel Field got down to 28, so we usually don't see our city environment get below freezing too many nights throughout the year. So Daniel Field hitting 28, that is the coldest temperature recorded at Daniel Field for 2023. Bushfield did get down to 23 out there early this morning. Here's our current temps if you're stepping out to 48 from Augusta to Aiken, 50 right now in Evans. Most spots are working their way into the 40s, so it is going to get chilly again over the next couple of hours. Stepping out, we should be hitting the 30s already by around 7 o'clock and then getting below freezing before midnight, but we'll most likely stay with low temps in the mid-20s by early tomorrow. For places like Bushfield, but Daniel Field likely going to stay a little bit warmer, low 30s there around the city. Have an update on the rest of the week for you in just a bit. Let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's a look at I-20 Riverwatch Parkway. You can see a beautiful look here at sunset, and luckily not too many traffic issues to mention. Looks like they're on the interstate, not too busy, and even on Riverwatch, not too active at the moment. We'll go out to Grovetown next, another beautiful look over Columbia County, and it looks like a lot of people have already left town for the holidays. Not too busy there on Lewiston Road or the exit. Have an update on the rest of the week's forecast for you in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Riley. Just days before Christmas, a family of 11 left with almost nothing after their home goes up in flames. This was the scene Monday night on the corner of Apricot Lane and Papaya Street in Augusta.
Thankfully, the entire family was able to make it out safely, but not without just the clothes on their backs that night. Craig Allison is live for us in our newsroom. And Craig, you spoke to the family about everything they're going through. What did they have to say?
It's not only a difficult time, but a tedious one with trying to care for 8 kids ages 2 to 15. It's a race for supplies, but also holiday spirit with their gifts getting caught in the flames as well. This is Jaquil Williams and Robert McCullough's first home together as an engaged couple, having only lived here for about 6 to 7 months. They've already received help from their local elementary school, their HOA, and Red Cross, but say they need all the help they can get with starting from rock bottom.
Before I met him, I was a single parent taking care of 8 kids. So this is extremely concerning to me because I want to make sure that they feel safe, homed. I want to make sure that they have things for Christmas. They lost everything during the Christmas time. So we're feeling sad, but the love that we have is what's keeping us strong, the faith that we have as well.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We're hearing some more from the family and checking in with Red Cross on how people can help donate to house fire victims like them.
Thanks, Craig. And of course, we're thankful that everyone was able to make it out of that house safely. It just goes to show you how quickly things can change. And it's unfortunate how it happened right before Christmas,
Yeah,
too.
it's never a good time for something like that to happen, but right before Christmas, just so hard.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. The Colorado Supreme Court has ruled that former President Trump cannot appear on the state's ballot next year. This is because of the 14th Amendment, which bans those who engage in insurrection against the United States from holding an elected office without the approval of the House and Senate.
That very same amendment has deep ties to Georgia politics. A year ago, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene herself faced allegations of violating a clause of the 14th Amendment. A judge later ruled Greene was qualified for re-election, with Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger adding that voters should decide if someone remains in office. A constitutional law professor at Georgia State University agrees with this sentiment when it comes to former President Trump.
The reason I don't think Donald Trump should be disqualified is because whether or not he engaged in insurrection under the law is a cloudy issue. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. And I think reasonable people can disagree on that question. To disqualify the front runner of the Republican Party and a former president, we need certainty.
Also watching the Colorado case closely is Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. There is a separate case in Butts County to try and disqualify Jones for his role in trying to allegedly overturn the 2020 election.
A South Carolina jail is under threat of being shut down because of serious safety violations. Last month, inmates at the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center in Columbia started several fires during a riot. An inspection later found that the jail had a number of fire safety violations, like not even having a fire evacuation plan. Other issues include understaffing, broken locks, female inmates not having access to sanitary products, and open wiring in several pods. The jail has less than 3 months to fix all of these issues before the State Department of Corrections steps in.
The rivalry basketball game between two Atlanta high schools will be played with no fans or family members in the stands, just the players on the court with nobody cheering them on. Griffin and Spalding high schools have gone head-to-head as long as the schools have been around. But this fall, a 15-year-old was shot and killed during the rivalry football game. Now, school officials have decided to ban fans and spectators from basketball games between the two schools in the spring. But something that's angering both sides of the argument, that fans will have to pay to watch the two rivalry games online.
I don't think that's the answer, per se.
I agree with them just having it on the Facebook or whatever. They can view it like that. It'd be more safer.
They can find something better to accommodate. Maybe have more security in place. Maybe we start there.
The rest of the school's games will be in person. Just the two rivalry games will be virtually streamed.
Heart-pumping moments during a rescue in western Atlanta. Fire rescue crews spent 5 hours digging a man out of a rock quarry yesterday after he fell in. Crews say the man had nearly 2 tons of sand and rock on top of him, and he was stuck in a hole nearly 15 feet deep with only his back visible. Then more debris fell on top of that man, completely submerging him. Parker Lee was one of the first ones to arrive on the scene and rappelled into the rock quarry to help rescue that victim.
With just a couple of shovels, and once I was able to uncover his back, I just started using my hands and clearing his face, around his body. Actually, at one point I told him, "You're going to go see your family for Christmas."
And crews say that the man was experiencing numbness in his back and legs when he was finally rescued and put on a stretcher and then life-flighted to the hospital. No word yet on his condition this evening.
Suicide is among the leading causes of death for teenagers and young adults in South Carolina. And new data from the CDC shows the state's overall suicide rate is going up post-pandemic.
Our State House reporter Mary Green explains what action lawmakers want to take to save lives.
Only 2 suicide prevention laws have ever been enacted here at the South Carolina State House. Senator Katrina Shealy is pushing to more than double that number next year, including with legislation aimed at helping South Carolina's children.
Every child's life's important. So we want to make sure that every child has access to those numbers. And a child can remember 988.
That's the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
One of Sheely's bills builds on a piece of legislation she got passed a few years ago. It requires the 988 Lifeline and other crisis resources be printed on all school ID cards for 7th through 12th graders in South Carolina public schools, plus college students. This bill would expand that to include students as young as kindergarten in both public and private schools. Sheely's second bill would require kindergarten through high school teachers receive 2 hours of suicide prevention training to renew their credentials, which they do every 5 years. This training has been required for middle and high school teachers in South Carolina for about a decade.
Everyone has a role in preventing suicide, and so we want to figure out how we can help people help each other.
And a third bill Sheely has filed would require professional counselors receive suicide prevention training to renew their licenses as well. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Lawmakers will be back to work in Columbia in less than 3 weeks. Then they'll be able to consider this and other legislation.
They served and protected us, but now some say they feel forgotten. Just ahead, we'll show you how Southern veterans are finding community and finding support. Riley?
Well, temperatures this morning, we're in the top 3 for coldest mornings of 2023. We'll see how long we keep this cold air coming up in that full forecast.
The Salvation Army is still short of the goal for the Red Kettle campaign. Find out by how much and what more you can do to help. Coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6.
Time and in a wreck? Call me right now.
Massive markdowns like never before.
The wrap up the year sales event at Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Choose from acres of new Rams. No payments for 90 days.
If you can't come to us, we'll drive it to you.
Good to go, Waynesboro.com.
iPhone 15 Pro, your husband deserves it.
Carolers, to tell me you want a new iPhone, a better plan is Verizon.
Wait, they take this break.
Yes, they will in any condition. Get iPhone 15 Pro and iPad and Apple Watch all on them.
Please forgive him.
It's all good, just a little awkward. We'll wrap this up.
It's your last chance to turn any iPhone in any condition into a new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and iPad and Apple Watch SE all on us. That's up to $1,700 in value. Only on Verizon.
Yeah, it's real.
Get spotted with an SRP Spotted sticker and get $100. That's right, it's that easy. Get your SRP Spotted sticker or magnet from any SRP location and you could be spotted and win $100. Follow us on Facebook for even more chances to win with Spot Me SRP. Good things are happening at SRP.
During my childhood,
We'll pay off your credit card up to $1,000.
Wrap up the year sales event at Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with 2.9% financing.
Get instant credit approval.
Good to go, Waynesboro.com.
Here we go. We are looking at the Thermodam. Beautiful conditions out there this evening. A little bit warmer than yesterday this afternoon, but not by much. We did hit highs at least into the low 50s. Yesterday was the 40s. We got a few high-level clouds starting to move in, and this will continue through tonight. So the cloud cover tonight should keep our temperatures just a few degrees warmer than this morning, but still pretty cold. We're actually already down to 48 degrees. You can still see air is very dry, so that's what's going to allow these temperatures to really bottom out again the rest of this evening into tonight. So stepping out this evening, we'll be in the low 40s already by around 6, 7 o'clock, and then dropping into the 30s well before midnight. We'll most likely even hit the freezing mark before midnight again heading into tonight. Here's our morning lows by daybreak tomorrow. 26 is what we're going with for cold spots like Bushfield, Thompson, up towards Saluda County. I would imagine most spots within 26 to 30 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So pretty cold. Definitely protect your pets tonight. Make sure they're staying warm. We are going to see a little bit of sunshine throughout the day Thursday, but we'll likely see a few of these passing high-level clouds at times too. Temperature-wise, though, we should be at least in the upper 50s. So thankfully, we do start our warming trend heading into tomorrow. Now, rain chances remaining very slim through the weekend. It's not really until Christmas Day we actually do have a better opportunity to see some showers. So just going to hang on to these cool and dry conditions for us here over the next several days. Here's a look at our temperatures across the country. 48 right now in Augusta, one of the cooler spots. 50 in Lexington, 43 right now at DC, and you can see Caribou, Maine coming in at 27 degrees right now. Heading into tomorrow. We are continuing our highs just a little bit below average, not too far away. We'll call it seasonable out there tomorrow. As we do head into the weekend, we're going to notice an upper level ridge start to form over the southeast. So this is going to bump up our high temps a little bit. Should be able to hit 62 Saturday, potentially as high as 65 by Sunday. Mostly dry through that time frame. But as we head into Monday for Christmas Day, our next little dip in the jet stream starting to move in, and that should start to ramp up our rain chances a little bit. So looking at our two long range models here, GFS and European model, both of them pretty good agreement on what temperatures will feel like, upper 50s to near 60 for high temps, and you can see the rain chances don't look all that different either. So models start to come into a little bit better agreement that this wave of moisture will start to be pushing in as we head most likely into our Monday afternoon. So Monday morning possibly dry, but later into our Monday we're expecting pretty widespread rain to push through Monday night and potentially even portions of our Tuesday. So take advantage of the dry weather we have over the next several days. Green light to watch the card tomorrow and Friday. High temps close to 60 the next few days. Seeing sun at times, but also hanging on to a few clouds out there over the next couple of afternoons. Now Thursday, tomorrow, the official start of winter, the astronomical winter. We got the winter solstice out there, so sun directly over the Tropic of Capricorn. Our days will start to get longer once we get past tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Riley. They served our country, but now some feel that their stories are invisible. But now female veterans are finding support and sisterhood through an organization 5,000 members strong.
Sawyer Bussey shows us how.
There is power in visibility and finding a platform where you can tell your story where people are listening.
The biggest thing about women veterans is that it's like we don't exist. We're invisible.
As women, a lot of times we're not being seen.
Women all over the state are finding that platform in a group called Georgia Military Women. It's a Facebook and social networking group, but they have in-person meetups. They have created a sisterhood.
Any branch, any age, any era, we're girlfriends. This is not about getting services necessarily, although we do help with that. We want to just have somebody in your life that you can get together with that know what it's like to serve, and we don't have to explain anything because we've all been there, done that.
The group is not politically affiliated, but they do have to work with politicians at times to advocate for policy change. They focus on issues surrounding PTSD, military sexual trauma, and breast cancer, access to mammograms.
But what we do is we keep on showing up and saying, okay, look at us.
She was in the Women's Army Corps. She is 99 years old.
There are members like Martina Schmidt who empower female veterans through her nonprofit, the She Served Initiative. She finds her own encouragement through Georgia Military Women. These are two organizations that exist to tell the stories of women veterans.
And it's nothing is ever intentional or in a mean-spirited way, but it's just that the image of a veteran is typically a male. And I think that's what Georgia Military Women does very well, to give us a voice.
These women, we women, get things done.
In Atlanta, Sawyer Bussey, Atlanta News First.
And what a great thing for recognizing our female veterans. All of them are important, so every program that can get them involved and noticed is always great.
Especially because you hear veterans talk about being a brotherhood, so it's nice to hear about the sisterhood.
Absolutely. Good stuff there.
Selling credit card data, it is a valuable thing for companies. We look at what you need to know to protect your information. Coming up.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Zaxby's Great.
Dad.
Zaxby's Great 8 meal has 8 boneless wings with fries and a drink for $8. And you can toss them in one of our 8 sauces. That's 1 sauce for every day of the week and 2 for Sunday. Woo, saucy. Zaxby's.
Many companies we interact with on a daily basis have found a new revenue stream, selling their customers' data, with credit card data being particularly valuable. Consumer investigator Carice Jackman spoke with a consumer advocacy group that highlighted one company with access to financial habits, which they sell third-party companies. She also has tips on what you need to know to protect your information.
Credit cards, when used responsibly, can offer lucrative opportunities to build credit and earn rewards. But according to a report by the U.S. Public Interest Research Group, or PIRG, one particular company has increasingly capitalized on selling holder data it has access to on third-party marketplaces.
MasterCard sells transaction data for targeting ads and for marketing.
Tech advocate RJ Cross with U.S. PIRG says MasterCard knows where people shop, how much they spend, even down to which days.
And it sells out information to third-party companies. It sells this info on these big online data marketplaces where companies can pay to access information about consumers and their spending behavior.
In a statement, a MasterCard representative said the company does not sell individual transaction data, while clarifying the company only analyzes anonymized purchase information, which are subject to established controls, so it can't be used to identify any individual card holders. To be fair, MasterCard is not the only company to do this, but Cross says in her report that MasterCard's position as a global payments technology company means it has access to a large amount of information from the financial lives of millions of people, the sale of which is almost entirely unregulated. She also says the exposure to targeted advertising can be bothersome to consumers.
Americans owe more money on their credit card debt than ever before. It's over $1 trillion, and interest rates are high right now. And so increasingly, this data-driven advertising may not be all that great for people in the long term. And it can also lead to some of those confusing, kind of creepy ads that seem to know exactly what you've bought and are following you around on all the screens in your life.
Cross also says selling data to third parties increases the personal security risk for consumers, as the more companies that hold the data, the more likely it is that information will end up being exposed in a breach or hack. So how can you avoid companies selling your data and these targeted ads and make it feel like someone is standing over your shoulder? Cross says in MasterCard's case, you can opt out of your data being used for analytics, though it's unclear to what extent this stops the company from monetizing your data. US Perk has a tips guide that outlines specifically how you can opt out. Cross also says, don't be afraid to speak up.
So definitely emailing MasterCard's privacy email and making your concerns known is a really powerful thing that people can do.
And if you're concerned about identity theft or fraud, you could consider freezing your credit. Simple steps you can take to protect your data from the world. Carice Jackman on your side.
And you can find a link to the full PIRG report on our website, wrdw.com. Riley?
All right, thanks for that. Well, for the weekend, we do finally warm up. Should see highs back at least into the 60s, and we do look mostly dry through Sunday afternoon. Then look at some rain by next Monday, just after break.
Toyota days, nights, weekends, and even on the holidays.
Call attorney John Foy and Associates.
iPhone 15 Pro, your husband deserves it.
Carolers, to tell me you want a new iPhone, a better plan is Verizon.
No way they take this break.
Yes, they will in any condition. Get iPhone 15 Pro and iPad and Apple Watch all on them.
Please forgive him.
It's all good, just a little awkward.
We'll wrap this up.
It's your last chance to turn any iPhone in any condition into a new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and iPad and Apple Watch SE all on us. That's up to $1,700 in value, only on Verizon.
Toyota at Milton Ruben Toyota.
Glad.com. Click, click.
All right, welcome back, folks. Taking a look over our Beach Island camera. I wanted to highlight this. There's actually a pretty cool weather phenomenon happening right now. So these people are trying to burn some leaves, maybe some trash, hopefully not trash, but you can see the smoke isn't really rising. It's staying very close to the ground. It's just kind of spreading out near ground level. So this is all because we have an inversion in our atmosphere. So temperatures are actually warming up the further up you go, so that prevents that smoke from rising freely. So if you are going to start any fires out there this evening, prepare for a lot of smoke near ground level. So you can kind of see that happening, playing out for us there in Beach Island. 48 degrees, it is chilly, so we're going to want to start some fires tonight. Just be safe with it and be prepared for some smoke if you're starting them outside. Our temperatures by tomorrow morning should bottom out into the mid-20s, so definitely cold, just not quite as cold as what we were this morning. Definitely make sure you're protecting your outdoor pets for tonight, though. Into the weekend, we do get a little bit warmer temps. Should be able to see highs back into the 60s Saturday and Sunday. Looking mostly dry through the weekend, but as we head into Christmas Day on Monday, that's going to be our next chance of rain. So next rainmaker showing up early next week. Could continue some of those rain chances into Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break as News 12 live at 5 continues.
Join us right